Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This video I was gonna make, I wasn't gonna make it, and now I decided I'm gonna make one definitive video unless something changes on this topic. NBA players sitting out games, not playing because of rest. They just want to sit out the game for rest. And it's not most players. There's only been a handful of guys who have been doing it. But I want to share what I think about this and the principles of it, the principalities of it. This is not about, it's not even really about basketball. So all players who are watching this, you probably already know, or people watching this, you know what's going on. Sometimes a player, a star player usually, is sitting out games and it says DNP, did not play, and the reason is rest. So it's not an injury, there's nothing wrong with them, they're not suspended, they just sat out the game for rest. Here's what I think about that. I'm going to tell you the short of what I think about it, then I'm going to explain what I think. When a player sits out a game for rest, especially a superstar player, like the type of player who they're the reason that people buy tickets, that type of player, the stars, the all-star guys sitting out games for rest, you're disrespecting the fucking game. It's disrespectful to the game, you're disrespecting your fans, and you're disrespecting your profession. All three you're doing every time you sit out a game for rest. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. First of all, let's get the disclaimers out of the way. Because sometimes a player will come out, I don't know if I heard someone say this directly, but just in case anybody may be thinking it, or a player may say something like this, they'll say, well, people don't really understand what it's like to play in the NBA. And they will be right. 99.999% of people never play in the NBA. There's only 400, 500 guys who play in the NBA. So if they throw that out there and it's true, then that basically discredits anything anybody can say, including myself. But that's actually wrong. That's the wrong way. That's wrong, and I'm gonna explain to you why that's wrong. Because first of all, playing in the NBA and sitting out a game, you're disrespecting your customers. So if you know anything about running a business, anyone who's watching this, if you run a business, you're an entrepreneur of any sort. You might be an entrepreneur on the side, you might be a full-time entrepreneur, maybe you want to become one. Listen, you have customers, you have paying customers. And Mark Cuban says this all the time. Many of you, all y'all know who Mark Cuban is. He's an owner in the NBA, and he's on Shark Tank. If you watch Shark Tank, he says your boss is your customers. Your customer is your boss. If you have a job, then your boss is the person who writes your checks. If you are an entrepreneur like myself, your boss is the customers. The people who buy the stuff that you sell, they're your boss. Because if they stop buying it, you're fired. You don't have a job, and you got to go do something so you can pay the bills and so you can eat. So everyone has a boss. Playing in the NBA, the players, they're actually the workers. They're at the, and you know what an organizational chart is. You got the person at the top who's the owner, then it goes down the list. The players are all the way at the bottom of that organizational chart, meaning that they're at the bottom of the totem pole of the LA Lakers or the Golden State Warriors or the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Cleveland Cavs. They at the bottom. They the workers. All right, the person who cuts their check, that's the boss. So whether that's Mark Cuban or Jeannie Buss or Jim Dolan or who's Dan Gilbert, those guys are the owners. They the ones who cut the checks, and their boss is their boss are the customers. People who buy the jerseys, the people who come to the games and buy those tickets and buy the concessions, the overpriced concessions in the arena, the people who watch the games on TV, which created, let's say, those big TV deals with TNT and ESPN and ABC, those big TV contracts. That's the reason why the salaries in the NBA go up, because of the TV contracts. And the only reason those companies are willing to pay for those big TV contracts is because they know people are watching the games and they can sell advertising against the games being on TV. And if y'all don't understand what I just said, rewind it and you go Google this and read all this stuff so y'all can understand the structure. I'm giving you all that context so y'all can understand that sitting out a game has nothing to do with the player just deciding. Well, it does have something to do with it, but that shouldn't be the determining factor. The player just deciding, hey, I need a game of rest. Or even the coach, who again is not even that high on the organizational chart. The owner's up here, the coach down here. All right, because the coach can get fired. Players can get fired too. Yeah, you got a contract, but listen, an owner can say, look, I don't want you to come in this arena ever again. I'm going to pay out your contract because you signed it, that we're going to honor the contract because that's legal and binding, but don't come in the building no more. You fired. The owner does that. The players don't decide that. The player's not above anybody. They can't tell anybody what to do on the Timberwolves or the Lakers or the Cavs or the Celtics. They can't tell anybody what to do. They get told what to do. Now, they may seem like they're more in charge because they got the big contracts, but again, just because you got a contract doesn't mean you can't get fired or traded or sent somewhere else. So now that we got that all laid out, understand this. Michael Jordan, let me tell a story real quick. Michael Jordan, a lot of y'all younger people, some of y'all wasn't even alive when Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan in the 90s is what I'm talking about. One thing that he said in one of his books, and this is probably the most important point of this whole video, is that Every time he showed up to a game for the Bulls, whether it was a home game or a road game, he said, I knew that there was at least one person in this crowd, whether home game or road game, who this is going to be their only chance in their entire life to see Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls play live and in person. Because the Bulls tickets was probably the most expensive ticket in the league. Everybody was trying to get a ticket to see the Bulls because Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan said, I felt a personal responsibility to show up every game, not only show up and play in every game, because back then players wasn't just sitting out for no reason, not only to show up and play in every game, but also to perform at my best, as best I possibly could every single night. I felt a personal responsibility for that because I know somebody saved up their money, they might have traveled, they might have rearranged plans, skipped the anniversary date, or missed their kid's soccer game, or missed somebody's birthday, just to come see me play. And I felt a personal responsibility to deliver to those people. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is not a basketball principle. That right there is a business principle. That right there is a principle for any of you watching this. If you're a parent, or if you're young and you have parents, what do you see them go to work every single day? Do you go to work every single day because you know you need to feed your kids? Do you go to work even when you don't feel like it? Do you go to work even when you didn't get any sleep the day before? Do you go to work when you're tired of your boss? Do you go to work when you got pissed off at one of your customers, or one of your customers got pissed off at you? Or maybe you don't even have any customers, but you show up to work anyway. We all do it. We all got to do it. The difference with the guys playing in the NBA who think it's okay to sit out a game, I heard LeBron James say some stupid shit like, well, I played in every arena in this league multiple times. So, and basically he was saying that to me, fans shouldn't be upset because I didn't play in the game. I believe they were playing the Memphis Grizzlies. He didn't play in the game, and he said, well, I played in every arena in this league multiple times. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with what you doing now? You sold a ticket. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Memphis Grizzlies sold a ticket to 20,000 fans in that arena and said, listen, the Cavs are coming to town. Guess who's on the Cavs? LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. That's who sells the tickets. People buy the tickets to see those guys. They didn't play in the game. You sold the ticket to me on the premise that I'm going to get to see those guys, and then they didn't play because they just wanted to take a game off of rest, or the coach decided they need to take a game off of rest. But you just disrespected me as a customer. I gave you my money. You didn't give me the product that you sold me on. You sold me on LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin. But fuck the Cavs. I bought the ticket to see them. They didn't play in the game. You just disrespected me as a customer. The thing is, a guy like LeBron James or whoever sits out a game, they get paid whether they show up to work or not. LeBron James didn't sat out a game. He still got paid for that game. I guarantee you, if Adam Silver said, listen, if you sit out a game healthy, I don't know how they would ever be able to prove this, but if he said, if you sit out a game healthy for rest, you don't get paid for that game. It's only right because you disrespected the fans. You're not giving the fans the product that we promised them. We sold them the product of this superstar playing in the game. We're not selling them the team. We're selling them the superstar. You didn't play, you don't get paid. I guarantee you all those DNP rests will go away pretty quickly. Actually, what would happen first is all the players would start bitching about it. They bitch to the media about it. That's how you know they're not the bosses. Because see, when you're the boss of a situation, you just do what you want to do. You see something that's not to your liking, you just fix it in the way that you want to fix it because you're the boss. You ain't got to go through nobody. You ain't got to complain to nobody. You ain't got to get approval from nobody. You just do what you want to do. That's what a boss does. See, someone who's not a boss, they got to go complain and bitch about it. Who the players bitch to? The media. The media can't fix the situation. The media can't remedy it. Why are you telling the media that the fans should be okay with you sitting out a game? Why don't you go speak to the fans? Go speak to the person you're disrespecting by not showing up to the game. Go talk to them. Get on your Twitter or your Instagram or do a live stream or whatever you want to do. All of us can talk directly to the people these days. People who buy from me, I can speak directly to you. A lot of you have said something to me and I communicated back to you. So why would I go speak to the media when I can speak to you? You're the one who's paying for my salary. So if LeBron goes to the media and says the fans should be all right with it because I played in every arena, like, motherfucker, the fans who you disrespecting, they right there on Twitter, on your Twitter account, following you, on your Instagram or your Snapchat, whatever he has. Go talk to them. Go explain to them why they should be okay with you disrespecting the customers. Why he didn't do that? Because he knows he knows he couldn't come to them and say that because he wouldn't have a leg to stand on. They tear that whole shit apart because you're disrespecting your customers. So the principle that all of you need to understand here, even if you don't want to play in the NBA, even if you don't play basketball at all, or you are 50 years old and don't even care about basketball, this is a business principle. Never disrespect your customers. If you sell your customers a dream and says this is what I'm going to deliver, it's kind of like if I said, yo, I'm going to write this book. It's going to tell you exactly how to become a really good basketball player. I didn't write it yet, but y'all pay for it up front. I'm going to give you a discount, and then I'm going to put the book out in 60 days from now. And a whole bunch of people come and pay me money for the book, and then later on I say, well, you know what? I don't want to write the book no more. And y'all should be okay with that, because I wrote 13 books already, and I really have. I wrote 13 books. I did 5,000 videos on YouTube. I do all these live streams. I'm on Snapchat every day. Y'all should be all right with that, because I did that already, and I'm going to just keep the money for the books. Y'all wouldn't accept that. Y'all call your credit card companies or your banks and be like, yo, this dude sold me a product and never gave me the product, and y'all would get y'all damn money back. True or not true? Of course you would, because I couldn't disrespect the customers like that. It'd be like if I was another way I could do it is, let's just say here on YouTube, I just say, you know what, I'm not making no more YouTube videos for free. I'm gonna make every video that I ever put out, I'm gonna make it paid. You gotta pay to watch every video I got on YouTube. You wanna follow me on Snapchat, you gotta pay me. You want me to reply to your tweet, you gotta pay. If you email me, I'm gonna make you pay me for me to write you back. If you see me in the street, you gotta pay me for me to say something back to you, to shake your hand. You just gotta pay for everything. Any way you wanna get access to me, you gotta pay for it. And then if someone complains, I say, look, I put out a whole bunch of stuff for free for 10 years. And now, and not only would I say you got to pay for it, but also if I put out anything, all I'm going to do is talk about my product. I'm not going to give you no content. I'm not going to share my opinions. I'm not going to share any ideas. No more weekly motivation, nothing. All I'm going to do is put out stuff you got to pay for. Right? And if I'm talking about something that's free, all I'm going to be talking about is how you can go pay for my book or my program, or you can sign up to be my coaching client or something like that. I'm not putting out nothing else for free. And if somebody complain, I say, yo, I've been putting out free stuff for the last 10 years. You should be all right with it. No, I can't do that. No, actually, I could do it, but nobody will buy anything from me anymore. I wouldn't have any customers. I wouldn't be making any money. Then I had to figure out what I'm going to do to pay my bills and how I'm going to eat. You understand? The difference is with them, with the players in the NBA sitting out games, they get paid whether they disrespect you or they don't disrespect you. They still get paid. And that's the thing that moves people. Money moves people to action, if y'all didn't know. So what the point that I want to get across here, and here's the last thing I'm going to say about this. If a player, when a player signs a contract to play in the NBA, part of the deal is I heard someone say also, this might have been LeBron also saying this. He said, the season is long. You know, it's a hard job playing in the NBA. I played in the NBA for 14 years, or however long he's been in the league. He said, do the fans want to see us play in all 82 games, or do they want to see us compete for a championship? Greg Popovich said, coach of the Spurs, you know, do you want to see players playing all 82 games every year, or would you rather see this player play for another 3 years in the NBA? Fuck that. Do both. I mean, your job, when you sign a contract to play anywhere, you sign a contract to do anything, part of the job is you show up when you're supposed to show up and you perform how you're supposed to perform. That's the job. That's what you signed up for. If I sign up somewhere, if someone hires me to go do a speaking engagement and they say, okay, Dre, you're going to give a keynote speech on this day for an hour, then the next day you're going to do this session for 45 minutes, then the next day you're going to autograph your books. I can't just not show up to one of them and say, yo, you still got to pay me the full amount because I was tired, I needed some rest, I need to get some sleep. That don't make no sense. They're not going to pay me because I didn't honor the contract. But the thing is, with the NBA players, somebody says something like that. Do you want to see us compete for a championship? We're playing all 82 games. Both, motherfucker. That's what you signed up for. Playing in the NBA is 82 games, an 82 game schedule. If you can't play in all 82 games, that's what you need to do. Send a text message to your trainer, or go get Ultimate Athlete at hoophandbook.com. Send a text message to your trainer and say, yo, bro, for whatever reason, the training we did this past offseason didn't have me ready to play in all 82 games. So we need to make some adjustments. So this offseason in our training, so next season when I play, I can play in all 82 games because that's what my contract states. All right, that's what I'm selling to my customers. That's what I'm selling to people who wear my jersey and cheer for me and watch me on TV that allow me to get paid. If I can't play in all 82 games, then that means I'm not fit to do this job. So we need to make adjustments to our training regimen this offseason so I'm fit to do my job the way I'm supposed to. Play in all 82 games and compete for a championship because that's the job. It's not either or. You don't sign a contract and say, okay, either or, either you're going to show up every day or you're going to try to win the championship. Which one do you want to do? No, it's both. You do all of that. And again, I'm not going to harp on the back in the day older players, but listen, Michael Jordan played in all 82 games many times in his career. Karl Malone played in all 82 games many times in his career. Let's just talk about Michael Jordan. I don't even know the stats, the actual number, but y'all can Google this, how many times Jordan played in all 82 games. Y'all know that Michael Jordan broke his foot his second year in the NBA a few games into the season, and he fought with the Bulls ownership. They wanted him to sit out the rest of the season. They said, Mike, just sit out the rest of the season, come back, work out over the summer, come back next year and just be good. Michael Jordan fought tooth and nail with the ownership to let him play for the rest of the season. The Bulls was going to be like the 8th seed in the playoffs. This is his second year in the league. 1986 was the second part of the season. He fought tooth and nail with them just to play in the last few games. The Bulls made the playoffs as the 8th seed, got swept in the first round by the eventual champion Boston Celtics. That playoff series, that 3-game series, was the same series when Michael Jordan scored 63 points in the Boston Garden on Larry Bird and them. They got swept. They lost that game, but he scored 63 points. That was the game where Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan. Everybody was like, yo, this dude is for real. That game, that's when Larry Bird said Michael Jordan's, what did he say? Jesus in basketball sneakers, something like that. And that's when Jordan really became Jordan. Y'all can look that up, Google that, you didn't know about it. So the points that I'm leaving you here with is this is a business thing. This is not a basketball thing. It's not a sports thing. It's definitely not an NBA thing. When you sell a product to a customer, you got to deliver on your product. When you sign a contract, you got to honor your contract. And no matter what you do for a living, your boss is the person who spends money in order for you to make money. So all you need to do is trace through how you make money, where it's coming from. How am I allowed to make this much money? Where is this coming from? Is it coming from this person, this person, this person? What are they paying for? And am I delivering that or not? And even if you are in a situation where you're going to get paid, whether you show up to work or you don't show up to work, those of you who work on salary, I mean, you might not show up to work because you got tired or you were sick or something like that. You're still going to get the same check every 2 weeks. Don't disrespect your business, because the little things you do there is going to leak out somewhere else and is eventually going to come back to you. We all know the law of karma, right? All right, so I think I said enough on this topic. Anybody got something to say? Comments, questions, praise, criticism? Leave it down there in the comments. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.